What's up, fight fans? This is Kurt DeVille with Counterpunched Boxing News, and I have some new news concerning Jermall Charlo. Jermall Charlo easily outpointed Juan Macias Montiel in the WBC middleweight title defense on Saturday night in Texas before challenging Gennady Golovkin and Saul Canelo Alvarez. Charlo won the decision on a one-sided fight in his home city of Houston before demanding the big names of the two that I mentioned. Golovkin holds the IBF belt in the same division, while Canelo is the WBA, the WBC, and the WBO super middleweight champion. Charlo put in a dominant display and was only denied a stoppage victory by the bravery and guts of his challenger. Montiel was battered and clearly hurt during a particular dominant fifth round for Charlo, but never buckled. Let me counterpunch. I like Jermall Charlo. I like what he did. I like that he called out those guys. I think what would be realistic is he has to let his people know and relay to them that he really wants those fights. You can't just call out fighters and you know you're a Al Heyman PBC Fox fighter. This is politics in the game. He needs to make a deal with DAZN because both of those guys, Gennady Golovkin and Canelo Alvarez, fight on DAZN. Now, Canelo Alvarez could be easier because he's his own free agent, but he still has to release the shackles from the PBC in order to make that fight. Okay, Jermall Charlo is one of those guys that I do want to see him fight those guys due to his style. He's big, he's tall, and I think he's young enough. He hasn't had many wars. In fact, I think Jermall Charlo, it's his time to shine. If he's going to shine, it has to be right now. Okay, the fight itself with Montiel, I think that him fighting, he kind of wing shots. Maybe that was due to ring rust, maybe. But overall, he looked good. I think he should be more of a power counterpuncher because I think that suits him. Because if he's in there with someone like Canelo fighting on the inside, I don't think that's a good idea. Because what I do, I imagine these fighters with other fighters when I think about what they're doing with the current fighters. And Canelo Alvarez would be a problem for Jermall Charlo if they fought in the trenches. I think Jermall could fight him from afar. Now, as far as Golovkin, I don't know how old or how useful he is at 39 years of age, but I'll imagine he's still pretty good. But I would like that fight also. I think that Golovkin needs to do something anyway also. So if you want to talk about Jermall Charlo, you got to mention Triple G because he's fighting absolute no opponents worth talking about. But Jermall overall looked good. He's a hard hitter. I did want him to get the stoppage, but it is what it is. He showed that he could go 12 rounds. In fact, it was a good thing that he did go because he needed the rounds, okay, due to inactivity. So Jermall Charlo, I'm glad he called out those two. I hope we get those fights because the middleweight division used to be on fire at one point. Now it's kind of went down. It went up to super middleweight, and the attention has been followed up there. But the middleweight division must be remembered. But anyway, you guys tell me what you think of Jermall Charlo winning the WBC or retaining his title against Montiel. Of course, please subscribe, and you guys been Counterpunch. Peace.